So this is not the kind of video that I thought I would end up doing. I don't really follow the news of any kind. I don't watch TV, like live TV or cable. I don't go on Facebook like at all. So I am often viewed as someone who is under a rock because I don't follow the news. I don't know these different stories that are going on. And I never figured I would do a video like this, but there is some current breaking news about this new story of this week where a submarine that was going to take some passengers to explore the Titanic is now missing for the week. And there's a couple of things that I want to talk about, and part of it does kind of connect to a gaming idea, and I'll get to that in a bit. But this is kind of the big news of the week. There is a submarine that is missing in the Atlantic Ocean. I believe it's been missing as of Monday or Tuesday. I don't remember which day exactly. And there is expected of oxygen for the passengers running out by tomorrow morning, Thursday. So I want to talk about some thoughts about this story and how I feel about it personally. One of which being that the people who were behind the idea of this kind of experience, as well as those who paid for the tickets, it's very questionable as to how this was allowed to happen. Number one, there was talks about whether or not it's an actual submarine. I don't know if it really is a full-on submarine or something smaller. I have no idea. But they do say that the ocean is just as mysterious as space, and there are a lot of things within the ocean that are yet to be discovered. Now, me personally, I do have a fear of the ocean because there's no telling exactly what's really down there, how deep it really is, it's dangerous either way. But for someone to say, hey, I'm going to have this idea where I can take people on a submarine and charge them $250,000 a ticket to take them into the ocean to look at the Titanic, and I think there's another one they do for like another part of the ocean or whatever, I don't know, but to me, it just doesn't seem like a good idea, and I'm trying to be as, I don't want to say open-minded, but not as crucial or as critical of this thing. Now, the people who did pay for the ticket, they are of the upper class, the more wealthy individuals out there. They have their own companies, their own businesses, but number one, to pay that much money for that kind of experience is kind of like, just because you have the money to do it doesn't mean you necessarily should do it. But there's a couple of things, I guess, really that's puzzling to me, because it went missing. There was, I believe, a distress call that was made before it was officially missing. As of now, there is different updates, such as there's some banging noise being heard through sonar and radar detection, and I don't know if it's been explained what the banging noise is. I would personally assume that it's the passengers trying to make some kind of sound for the sonar to detect, to help triangulate the location of these passengers. I also don't know the total passengers. I believe it's like 5 or 6 passengers around there. There's apparently one of the guys who was supposed to go decided not to go, and he's safe because he didn't go on the submarine. But when it comes to the distress call, I don't know what would have caused the submarine to be missing, whether it was a malfunction in controls, loss of power, or something. But it did come out that, and this is all over, CNN and Vice News, the submarine was being controlled by a third-party gaming controller, a crappy $40 gaming controller. And a friend of mine was talking to me about it, saying that kind of thing is kind of common when it comes to like unmanned drones, or even in an article I just read about like some military tanks are controlled by those like cheaper off-brand controllers. But those kind of things, more specifically the unmanned drone, is a huge difference from a submarine taking people to the ocean. And my friend made this like statement, or whatever you want to call it, about people got on the submarine, saw what it was being controlled with, and was like, yeah, that's cool, that's a good idea, we're gonna keep going. No, like, to me, it's like, if you get on a plane and you meet the pilot and you see they're using an Xbox controller to control the airplane, you're gonna get the fuck off. You're gonna get your money back, right? You're not gonna trust I mean, me personally, I wouldn't trust anyone to control some type of thing, whether it's a train, a plane, a submarine, a boat, or whatever, a car, with a controller. No. Um, and as I mentioned earlier, it is a bit difference between a submarine and an unmanned drone. You know, a drone, for one, it's above sea level. You know, it's in, you know, the air and, you know, earth, you know, land, whatever you want to call it. It's in the air. But also, it's unmanned, and you know they typically have a certain range they can go before losing signal and eventually losing connection. But to control a whole submarine with a gaming controller, I don't know how common that is, and that's a problem. Now they did say also that with the passengers, they are expected to lose oxygen by Thursday morning. Thursday being July 22nd. And that's mainly an estimate because there's no guarantee that it had a full oxygen when it departed, and how much oxygen is actually depleted over time. But the only thing we can really do is hope that they find the passengers. Hopefully they're all safe and well. Hopefully they can hold out a bit longer until they can be saved and rescued. There are a lot of rescue teams out there with Coast Guard. You know, you got units from the States, units from Canada, all trying to use their devices and their sonars. There is actually a ship out there now with a really advanced sonar that will hopefully triangulate the location of the submarine. But you also have to understand that this is a wide area of water. They say the radius that they're searching is twice the size of Connecticut, I believe, and that's a whole state. So to double that size and use and that much space for water to search for the submarine, that's going to be a hard mission to do. But they did say they have enough people who are very well experienced in terms of doing these dives and these missions to help hopefully rescue these passengers, and hopefully it's a story that will end up with a happy ending. Don't know how possible that is at this point because you know, Eastern time, it is already almost 10 p.m. Eastern time. So it's you know, a tragedy, and it's a an upsetting story and something that you don't really want to read about or see happening, but it's the world that we live in, and there's really no other way to just talk about it, honestly. And I don't want to be overly critical, as I mentioned before, but it's kind of the idea of like, just make better decisions, honestly. That's what I mean. There's no other way to say it, honestly. No other way to say it. I'm not trying to say that I don't feel bad for them. Of course I feel bad. The ocean is terrifying. I, for one, would not want to be in that situation. I'm terrified of the ocean. It's just the fact that this is something that was allowed to happen. They even had an interview with the guy who runs the damn thing, and they were like, dude, you're crazy if you're using a freaking controller for the, you know, to control the submarine. Like, it's ridiculous. So who the hell greenlit this? Who the hell said it's okay for him to do that? Was there anyone who is in a position to say no for that? I don't know what else to say about it. Just a little I guess 8-minute video, 9-minute video about this thing, and hopefully we find out more good news tomorrow morning. I'm Anthony Olan, and I'll see you guys next time.